Hello, I'm Avoiding Relegation, and this is a quick video to give you an update on what's going on with the channel. So yeah, we'll start off Forever Everton. Will be coming to a close at the end of the existing season. That is 4 seasons in total. It's been a good run, but this last season has been, well, it's been a bit hellish, to be honest with you. It's not gone the way I wanted it to at all, despite the great signings and decent team we've built up. It's just gone that way. Obviously, this was a beta save and wasn't really supposed to go beyond beta, to be fair, but we kept it going. And as I say, at the end of season 4, we'll be drawing it to a close. There's probably not more than a couple of episodes left. Obviously, if you've not seen the recent one, please do go check it out. But the other reason, of course, for bringing it to a close is the views have dropped off. It's less interesting than it used to be. So looking to maybe replace it with something a little bit more interesting or something new, maybe something different. We'll see. There are decisions to be made on that front. But yeah, it's been a good run. I've enjoyed it a lot, but it will finish at the end of the season after maybe, like I say, 2 episodes, maybe 3 tops. Next and most importantly, at least for me, is playing for set pieces. This was going to be sort of the key save for the channel this year. The idea was to instill playing for set pieces as a club philosophy by, controlling the training, implementing it in tactics, and obviously signing the right sort of players. And in theory, it's a really good idea, as far as I'm concerned, at least. But doing it as a journeyman was a bad idea, because obviously I think you need to spend a lot longer than a couple of seasons at a club in order to make that happen. The training works well enough, the tactics work well enough in terms of implementing them, but obviously when it comes to signing players, where I've just been strengthening teams, as I haven't really spent the time to find the right, free kick takers and all the rest of it. And as I say, just as we're getting into it and getting good, we're moving on anyway. So like I say, with hindsight, it should have been a one club challenge to do playing for set pieces. So as things stand, it's going to go away. I'm happy. Don't get me wrong. I'm enjoying myself with Lil Strom at the moment. Not getting a lot of views, much like the Everton. It seems to have dropped off in views. Again, it doesn't seem to be holding your interest, which, is understandable in many respects. Part of me wants to maybe keep hold of the journeyman element and perhaps just carry on with that and not worry about the set pieces side. So I can carry on and finish off with Lil Strom and then move on to whomever comes next. But again, I haven't 100% decided on that yet. What I have decided on, though, is there will be another save coming forward that does concentrate on playing for set pieces and does concentrate on a one-club sort of development effort. That way I can really spend the time and do what I need to do, or do what I want to do in terms of instilling that sort of playing for set pieces at club DNA level, because even though I've kind of applied the training and the tactics to every save I have, more or less, none of them have had the focus, I guess, it deserves in order to really, see if I've achieved what I set out to achieve and improve our ability to score from set pieces and indeed defend them. So, yeah, it's like I say, it's not gone the way I quite wanted it to. The other problem, of course, is I only release one of each series a week. Certainly with this one, I only tend to play one game a month. We're only on, what's this episode? Episode 21. 22 would be coming up if I was going to film it. And in all honesty, we're not getting anywhere. We've only had 2 clubs in the space of that time, and this obviously started out just after beta. So, again, with hindsight, the mistake I made here really is not playing enough games in between each episode. I didn't want to flood it with episodes. I didn't want to do 5 a week and all the rest of it. I don't have the time, I have time to play, but I don't always have the time to record or the opportunity, and certainly not at the moment where things are as weird as they are. So, and obviously in between that, I did have a couple of illness issues which slowed me down a bit. But like I say, reality is it's not doing what I wanted it to do. So I need to go away and do something different. Like I say, might keep the journeyman aspect on. We'll see. That might be what replaces Everton. But there will be, as I say, another show coming up very, very soon that will concentrate on playing for set pieces as a one-club development. Next, I want to mention Swindon Till I Die. It did only get 5 episodes, and as you know, I did put it on pause, shall we say, while I had a lot going on, and I wanted to also concentrate on some other projects. Well, unfortunately, I have yet to go back to it, and to be honest with you, I think it's dead. So I don't have the motivation to pick it up at the moment. That, of course, may change. It may even be the thing that replaces Everton instead of doing a journeyman. But because we did have an absolutely storming first season in charge. I mean, just absolutely stunning. There's no other way of putting it. But yeah, I don't have to drive to play it. I don't have to drive to continue with the series, so it's pretty much ending there. Okay, next thing to talk about is Football Manager enhancements. That will return for episode 4 sometime this coming week, very, very shortly at least. I have had it filmed for a couple of weeks, but I haven't gotten around to editing it yet. Because of the way that I record it, it's quite different to the other shows, and it's a little bit more complicated, and I'm still sort of learning certain things. So it takes a little bit more work than the other stuff, and as you know, with this whole global pandemic we're going through, everybody's schedule's kind of screwed up at the moment, and not least of which mine. In terms of moving forward, it is going to remain a regular show. I had intended to do it as a weekly show, but the problem with that is kind of a not so much a lack of content to put in it, but a lack of diversity of content, because obviously there's only so many databases, there's only so many, custom competitions and stuff like that, whilst there are millions of tactics and all the rest of it. And I do want to try and give a good spread, but I also want to bring you quality content from other creators, and rather than just going, oh, and so-and-so's database for this, which is the same as last week, but by a different person, isn't really what I want to be doing. So, like I say, the intention moving forward will be to make it monthly. I do want to nail it down to a regular schedule, so it's always on a particular day, monthly. That's not going to happen for the next episode, and probably won't happen for episode 5 either. On top of that, in terms of the elements within the show, I like most of it, but the tactics testing still isn't quite right for me. If you remember in the first episode, I used the custom database to test out a tactic, and it was an alright demonstration, but in terms of making it interesting, since then I've sort of had, in the last sort of 2 episodes 2 and 3 and 4, which will be coming, as I say, next week, I've used top teams to test it out, which does make it a little bit more interesting, don't get me wrong, but I still feel like I need to do something a little bit better. It's a fun element, it really is, and I do want to continue that, but I want to see if I can figure something out that's a little bit better. So moving forward, that will change. Obviously, everybody's schedule's a bit screwed at the moment since this global pandemic, so I don't know exactly when it will settle down, but I can guarantee you it's still coming. There will be future episodes, because apart from anything else, the response from the community and from the people who watch it's been absolutely phenomenal. Just the first couple of episodes brought me 20 new subscribers on YouTube, so I'm up to over 200 now, so thank you very, very much for that. I really do appreciate it. And obviously I want to keep bringing you, quality stuff from the community that people put out. I mean, if you've seen the other episodes, you've seen what's out there. There's so much great stuff. But obviously in terms of diversity, there are limits, put it that way. In terms of other content as well, one of the big databases that have come out recently is the database from The Mad Scientist. It doesn't feature in episode 4 because episode 4 was recorded before it came out. It will feature in episode 5, although part of me's tempted just to do a little bit of a squeaky special and have a bit of a deeper dive into that database, because quite honestly the guy did so much work really, really hard to make that, and I think that it deserves a certain amount of attention, if you will. So that's part of the plan. Like I say, if it doesn't appear as a special, which it might not, it will certainly be in episode 5. Obviously, as I mentioned in the show itself, there is an email to contact me on if you have something you'd like to see featured, whether it's tactics, training, graphics packs, challenge database, whatever it might be. If you've got something that you feel would be considered enhancement to Football Manager, then please do tell me about it. I'd love to bring it in there. I do my own research. I do ask for recommendations here and there from people at Passion for FM and stuff like that, but ultimately it's all my own investigation and digging around on the sites on there, and of course I don't get to everyone. I don't get to see everything, so I'm not overlooking you. I'm not leaving you out. I just probably haven't seen it. So, do what you can to put it under my nose. And I prefer that you send it through the email rather than just DM me, because, if everybody started DMing me, and then it's not going to happen right now because obviously it's still a small show. But, in the future, it will just get out of control. So, by setting it up right in the beginning, and the method to submit stuff and keeping it that way from the beginning should, in theory, keep it a little bit more streamlined. Hopefully in the future when I get even more viewers and even more content to put in it. So I would like to say thank you very much to all of you. You've been absolutely fantastic supporting FME. Like I say, the first 2 episodes brought me something like 20 new YouTube subscribers, and I've passed the 200 mark now. So again, thank you all for that too. But like I say, I want to keep this show going. I want to make it better, and I want to continually make it better, and continue on into the next Football Manager as well. However that may be, I don't know if there's going to be an FM21. With how things are in the world, it's a bit difficult to tell. But yeah, that's where we are with FME. New episode out next week, and it is continuing. Okay, that brings us up to date with all of the shows on the channel as they stand. Just to give you a quick recap, Everton will return on Monday. Football Manager Enhancements will return next week. I haven't decided what day yet. Apart from anything else, it's not edited yet. So, and obviously there will be no playing for set pieces for the foreseeable future. Certainly not in its existing form. As mentioned, I got some ideas. I got some stuff I'm working on. I maybe want to try some different things, and this is a good opportunity. So it's going to be a little bit quiet from the channel over the next month or so. Everton will continue probably for the next 2 or 3 weeks at least. And as I say, there will be an FME in the middle of that. But I will endeavour to make my decisions and figure certain things out in order to bring you some new content as soon as I can. In the meantime, thank you very, very much for all of your support so far. I really, really appreciate it. The retweets, the people who watch the videos, the people who commenting on it, the people who subscribe on YouTube. I couldn't do this without you. And, thank you very much. You keep me going, you keep me motivated, and here I am. So, yeah, thank you very much. And it's a horrible time out there in the world at the moment, so please stay safe, stay well, look after your friends and family, and let's all get through this healthily and as much as we can, and come out strong the other side, and look forward to FM21, which, though there's not been much said about it, they do hint about features at this point in the year. I still think there's one coming. Obviously, the state of world football at the moment is pretty much ground to a halt, apart from Russia non-league. Keep an eye on that if you want to watch some football. But, I don't know what that means for FM21. I know there will be one. I don't know how hard it makes them to code it, especially if we don't finish the seasons, or if we write them off, or if we don't choose to start. I just don't know. So, as far as my content concerns, like I say, Everton, FME, and something new very, very soon. Thank you very much for watching.